Well, not
Hey,
live,
hey.
but you know what? Sam, welcome back,
Yes.
man. Andrew.
Welcome back to the change room. Thanks, Rich. That's awesome, man. So we're back here. We did this really quickly off the cuff because this is going to be pre-recorded. So because we've got some plans, some traveling to do this week. So we hope you like this show. We've got some interesting topics that we're going to be bringing up, and of course, once you enter the change room, get to leave like not the same again. So
Very good, very good. So, how's your week been, Sam? Has been good.
it's pretty good, actually. I mean, there's Eid break here for this whole week, really. So, in Dubai,
It's the
everyone's
end of
kind of
Ramadan.
like
Yeah.
end of Ramadan. So, it's there's going to be a week off, which is great. And speaking of taking off, I don't know. I mean, I'm the type of person that actually likes to do work during these breaks or these holidays. How about you, man?
Yeah. Well, here it's a little bit different. I mean, we don't really have holidays. It's work as usual. Although, my link to the Middle East means that it's a pretty chilled out week. But no, it's good to finish up Ramadan. Ramadan's can be pretty brutal at times. At the start, it is, and then it's just such a nice cleansing detox sort of month. But yeah, it's all good. Hey, listen, I want to get into the show, the change room, and we know about the change room, and this should be our fifth episode, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Correct
number
me if I'm
5.
wrong. Number
Yep.
five, and I don't know if we're going to do a topic or so, but I want to tell you about the fabulous world of sports, a little bit about sports and what's happened in the week of sports with the Blues and stuff like that. And then I think we'll just taper off from there elsewhere.
Sure.
So I sent you some links, Sam, and you've seen the links. And I think, I don't know if you're down with this. I want to call this episode, it's up to you, but we'll negotiate. Never say die attitude, right? And the Blues, I'm telling you, this game I watched on the weekend, the other team was all over him, just played a complete negating role. Just negate, right? Just to stop the flow. They didn't go out to, they just, yeah, they negated basically. And what happened was um, we ended up winning in the last, so we were down, I think, by 9 points with 4.5 minutes to go. And then we kicked 3 goals, and it was a bit controversial. I showed you the thing. But this is not the first time. So I think something like the last 10 games where we've had close ones, we've won. They've got this never say die attitude that if they're still behind, they will still find a way to do it. And what I want to emphasize here is the mindset that goes through. Now, to give you a bit of background, because you don't understand that, is that prior to these 10 games, we lost about 3 or 4 really close ones. So really, really hurt. So there was some sort of trauma. Now, without us knowing what's happened inside the rooms, in the change room, what we can do is we can only speculate. But what I understand is that they've gone to work on that. So they've done match simulation, which is similar to what we do in mindset and stuff. And this is where I want you to get into a little bit. And now they're the kings of the close games. Like, if you're playing against them, you'll be like, what the hell? So, and there's a bigger picture out of that. It's not just about Carlton Football Club or whatever. I'm talking about a mindset that you're going there, you do a match simulation that if we're in that position, this is how we're going to deal with it. And the point of acting out something like a match sim, whether it's in business or whether it's you're going to meet someone for the first time or you're in an interview or whatever, all that sort of role play simulation, the effects of that can be super positive. Over to you, Sam.
Yeah, no, I get it. The winner streak type of like approach. I always call these things strategies, and these strategies are formed um, either unknowingly or knowingly, in the sense that you find yourself in them, and then all of a sudden that becomes a habit or a continuous type of approach where you're always down a few points until the very end, and then you're up, and then you end up winning. And I call that a strategy because if we fall into that loop, that whole dynamic plays out in the same way because we got used to it. So we develop some sort of a familiarity strategy in, it happened the first time, second time, third time, all of a sudden it's taken shape now. There's a pattern emerging. And
Yeah.
and so the way you've, kind of showed me and stuff, it looks like they fell into a pattern, a pretty good pattern if you ask me, because they're still winning.
Yeah.
um, and then they keep approaching it pretty much in the same way. It's almost like, for people who wait for the last minute to actually get to work, to get work done. It sounds
Yeah.
very similar to that, where, for me personally, I wait for kind of the last hour or two to get really, really get going, because that's where I get the best downloads, thoughts, ideas, right? Is it the best way? Probably not, but it actually works for me. Would I like it to be different? Yeah, I would, to be honest. I'd like to actually finish up stuff much, much earlier, but it just seems to work for me. So it's just a winning strategy for me.
You know what, Sam? I think further on to what you're saying is, I think the ultimate thing here is, I know it's a strategy, but the key ingredient here is belief, right? And this is what I want to talk about, because you can have the strategy, but if you don't believe, it means nothing, right? You go out there, strategies mean nothing without belief, in my opinion. So these guys, and I'm just talking about the football sense of things. I'm talking about in general, right? If you don't have belief or hope that we can win this, even though we're down and back is to the wall, and I can come back and I can do this, and it creates fear in your opposition. And that's the point. Belief is a super powerful thing. It's an intangible. You can't touch it, you can't feel it, but it's a belief. And that, may I say, is got to do with mindset training. That is 100%. That's not by accident. You do not do it. You can do an accident once, twice, maybe even 3 times, but 10 times, that's not accident. That becomes strategy.
True. I actually want to take that forward. Yes, belief is definitely a strong word. When you believe in something so deeply that that you get a feeling that, something good is going to happen, right? But I actually want to take that further. I think the difference between belief and knowing is completely different.
That's
When
true.
you're in a situation where you just know it, you probably don't know how to explain it or describe it into words or show it to someone or share it with someone, but you know it to be true. Okay. And I call that like it's a gut instinct. You listen to your gut, you just know it, right? That's even more powerful than belief, if you ask me. It's almost like saying, listen, I'm here sitting here talking with you, Rich, right now, and obviously I know that to be true, right? It's not like I believe in that. No, there's nothing to believe in. I know it to be
Fact.
true. I'm right here in front of you. Yeah,
Fact. It's fact. It's
it's
fact.
fact. So I'm talking about that, which is even deeper than just belief. And
But Sam,
usually, yeah, but before the strategy is actually formed, is when you find yourself as a team in that situation, and you end up like the result is, or the end result is, you end up winning at the last like 2 minutes or 5 minutes, and that develops as a, like I said, a habit. Then you start to believe in it more, because right now you've created almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy, where it's like it's going to happen again. And so a winner's mindset, or never say die attitude, is someone who's actually been through that process before. And then when you see it all the time, you start to believe it more. And then when that continues, you start to know it to be true all the time.
is that we used to did we study this thing called the belief cycle? So everyone's got the
Yeah.
potential, right? They take the
Yeah.
action, and the action, and from the action you get the result. And when it's a positive result where you win, it goes back to your potential, right? And gives you the action again, and then so it goes into that thing. But what's curious for me, and I want to go to the commentary after that, is is how a coach or mentor, because you can instill belief in one, but as a collective, as a team, that's fucking hard, right? Because just like normal, everyone has their fears and emotions during the game or during whatever you're doing, right? To be collectively have that is super powerful. That is so powerful.
It
So
is very much. But don't forget that they all, the team moves together, right? I mean, they're part of the same environment. And then if, like I said, if you start to experience that as a team or as a collective, everyone's going to be experiencing it at exactly the same time, right? And if that continues, it becomes a new culture, and that's how cultures are formed. It's like it's a winning attitude. It's like we never say never, we never say die. We always win in the end. Of course, there's always the exceptions here and there, but we're not talking about the exceptions. We're talking about that the unfolding of a manifestation of it becoming a reality, right? And if you go through the cycles of habits of how to change, if I told someone who's not really used to positive change to change right now, it's going to be very foreign. It's like driving a car for the first time. When I change to someone positive or someone successful, what does that even look like to that person? Same thing with health. What does that look like to a healthy person? Like I said, it's a process where people don't really know what that looks or feels like until it happens.
I get you. It becomes almost like when you just triggered a thought for me with health, where it starts becoming a lifestyle, right? So if you're saying, oh, I'm going to lose weight, right? Or I'm going to stop smoking or whatever it is, you got to have repeated habits, good habits to make the change. So it starts on the drawing board in the coach's box, and then it goes to the change room, and then it comes out to the field, right? So it's very, very interesting. But I want to move on from that, if you're okay with that. Okay with that.
Yep.
And I think that could be our topic. So I'll tell Rocco, we'll tell him our topic what do we want to call it? Winning culture, belief, what do you want to call it? Or we don't call it anything.
No, we can call it something like winners win, or never say die, or never, we never give up, or
never say die sounds
whatever you guys choose. Yeah, we're actually naming the show in the show.
It reminds me of Seinfeld. It's a show about nothing, So,
absolutely.
Sam, can I show this video, and then we're going to get off sports, right? So, explain. I sent you this video. So, explain as a North American, when you see this, what you automatic. And I don't think the audience will see the same thing, but from a foreign perspective, tell me what you're seeing when do you want me to play the video first, or do you want to explain
the video? No, play the video.
All right. So what I'm going to play now is the video of the win over the weekend with the commentators speaking and the pandemonium that goes with that. So just check this out, and then Sam's going to dissect it from there. Here we go.
Goal. Jackson wins the knock. Spills to Hewitt. Hewitt around the ball. Cottrell's taken the mark.
Paid it.
There's confusion. Umpires don't know what's going on. Players pointing everywhere. It's a mark.
There's 20 people umpiring.
It's a mark. Look at this. It's absolute chaos.
Pressure
No one knows what's going on.
Back with me.
There are people everywhere pointing and yelling and screaming.
Slapping their hands.
Cottrell's gone back for a monumental run-up.
Oh, this is huge.
Why so far back?
50 seconds.
2-point margin, Carlton down. Cottrell from 30 metres out directly in front. Strides to the line. Oh! Carlton in front. Carlton in front.
Free kick in the middle. Free kick here, Carlton.
Oh. Free kick.
Sam,
Great.
Dissect it, baby. Dissect it. I mean, did that give you chills? Like, did it get you excited? Like, explain to me.
Of course. Listen, I'm no stranger to commentators. Obviously, you've got some in hockey, you've got some in baseball, you've got some in basketball. They make the whole show, like, not the whole show, but I mean, they really offer a lot of energy for the fans, and they've got a big job. In fact, I would actually say that a big portion of the team's success, okay, for the fans, is the commentators. I think really good commentators are epic, in creating success to allow you to live that experience. And if you noticed, they go in and out from, you've got
Yeah.
one person saying, "Oh dear, oh that's a big loss, oh everything's down," and then you've got the guy standing on the right going, "Oh that's huge, this is going to be positive, oh there's an opportunity," right?
Yeah.
So we're constantly hearing the voices on the left side, the right side, and then deep in our subconscious we're like, "Whoa, there's a little bit of chaos, a little bit of confusion, but there's still hope. There's still hope." They leave you at the edge of your seat. And a big part or portion of their job is really important. In fact, every team, especially on their home ground, has a good team of commentators. Those are the people that, bring the Carlton fans to be Carlton fans, to be honest with you. And when you break that down into the world of like,
They're non-biased, but they're trying to play a game of being non-biased. So they're not Carlton commentators; they're generic commentators. I understand, but it gets the crowd excited, Sam.
of course,
And then the other thing is, just one point on top of that, is that the fans that are on the ground that are listening to that, or just in the crowd, they're the other team that helps to push the team even further. Do you know what I mean? The
right,
frequency of that,
right,
but
right.
get to the H word. Get to the H word.
Yeah. So a lot of this is actually hypnotic, right? When we talk about hypnosis, we talk about trance. You can call it anything you want, really. But at the end of the day, it's speaking directly to your unconscious or subconscious mind. When you've got voices coming from the left or the right, and you're engaged visually watching the game as well, they're giving you a total experience, right? And so, just like all human beings, we like to hear where there's conflict, there's problems, and then how we overcome them. So if you actually pay attention to the commentators, you've got people on the left, you've got guys on the right. They're telling you kind of like two different sides because they're talking to many different people who are tuning in to watch the game. And so hypnosis works pretty much in the same vein, so to speak, where we're talking to part of it for the conscious mind, and then we start talking mostly to the unconscious mind, the one that's actually listening, recording to everything that we're saying. And that's where real change comes, especially in the change room. So if you're focusing on something that the coach is saying to their team, discussing strategies and plays, what to do next, what's successful, what's not successful, all of a sudden people will start to play with that in their unconscious mind. Same with the players. They're actually thinking, connecting the dots non-linearly. Okay, it's not a straight line. Our unconscious mind connects the dots in various different ways to ultimately bring you to the point of the result that you're looking for. So I'm sure the team in the change room is actually listening very closely, connecting the dots with each and every player on how to make a successful play. And this is all hypnotic. This is something where when your unconscious mind takes it, it becomes reality. You're going to perform in that way. Same thing happens with change, with health, with relationships. It's all access from the same place. Does that make sense?
Can I just say it does? And you can relate that to everything. So when you watch a really good movie, as an example, it starts off and it's a good story, and then something happens and something major happens, and then the turnaround. So think about the Rocky story, right? He's down on the turnbuckles, and he's going to be down, and he's finished, and he comes back and he wins, right? It's all those different ups and downs that create this hypnotic state. And this is what I'm really happy about, that we can explain a little bit about what hypnosis is, because we've got a complete misconception. People think, it's hypnosis, and let's get you to dance.
People
like
falling asleep.
Yeah, falling asleep. That is hypnosis, but also another form of hypnosis that you're in a trance. When you're in a movie, and sorry, when you're watching a movie, Sam, and your main actor dies, right? You know it's a movie. It's acting. It's on the screen. You get emotionally attached. Tell me that's not hypnosis. Of course it is. It's super hypnosis. So anyway, it's fascinating. I mean, just to think of the unconscious mind, we should probably just explain. Why don't you give them a bit of an example of what the conscious mind is and unconscious without getting too geeky about it? So the people that are watching today, sorry, we can't take too many comments. Well, we're not taking any comments because we're doing it pre-recorded. But so why don't you give a bit of an example? I might have it. You know what? I might have
pop something up if you want. Pop something
yeah,
up.
I do.
Really,
I've got something.
So the conscious, we've all got a conscious mind, something that you're consciously aware of, and we could be consciously aware of about 7 things at the same time, plus or minus 2, right? But unconsciously, we're aware of many more things, a lot of things. Okay, now if I were to ask you, are you beating your heart consciously? You're probably going to tell me no. Are you, kind of storing all your memories consciously of your entire life? You're probably going to tell me no. This is all happening unconsciously. And when we say unconscious or subconscious, they practically mean both the same thing. Some people say other than conscious. And so the reality here is why we're sharing this is 5% of our conscious awareness is available to us, while 95% plus or minus is available to us unconsciously. So could you imagine how much data outside of us is actually being entered through our senses unconsciously without us even knowing? It's all there. Have you ever had a time where you were looking for something, but it was always right in front of you? So that was just like a light form of trance. It's a light form of hypnosis, a light form of trance, where you're moving around. It's like, it's nearby, but you don't know exactly where it is, but it's right in front of you. Same thing with solutions. You want to find the solution to a real tough problem. You don't have to go very far. You just got to sit still a bit and then just look around you. Take a good look around you, and you'll find your answers. So that's really the very brief, what's it called, meaning or definition of conscious, conscious and unconscious. We all
I've got a really good graph here. And sorry, I'm just going to show this graph, and then you can probably explain this. Sorry, we're getting a bit nerdy here, but it's a bit of educational. But let's have a look, right? So see that? So why don't you explain that?
Yeah, just remove the background, Rich.
I think if I remove the background, we can't speak.
There we go.
No, we can't. Yeah, go.
Okay, so roughly speaking, like I said, the conscious mind controls about 5 to 10%. 10% would probably be too much, but I would say about 5% plus or minus 2, where your conscious mind is working to analyze. It thinks, it plans using its frontal cortex, and it's involved for short-term memory, while your subconscious mind or your unconscious mind is responsible for about 90 or 95% of your long-term memory, your emotions and feelings, habits, patterns, relationships, addictions, involuntary bodily functions like beating of your heart, the travel of all your red blood cells and white blood cells, the domain of your creativity, the developmental stages, spiritual connection, and intuition. So there's a lot that your unconscious mind is actually working on that we're not even conscious to. So it's all happening. Even you listening to me right now, your unconscious mind is recording all of this, and it's actually controlling all the other functions we just spoke about. So that's really when we talk about performance, play, relationships, health, business, everything's really controlled ultimately with all the behaviors we've learned up until now in our life. And we're just walking around like a bunch of unconscious people for the most part, replaying everything we know to be true about the world.
That's so interesting. I hope people find that interesting also, because we can geek out, but we're not going to geek out about it today. So
yeah.
And here's the thing, right? When you can work that out, the unconscious, where we create great habits to become unconscious behaviors. And it's probably another topic we'll talk about down the track, the learning behavior, how to learn that. But that's when you can really, really reap the rewards. And I think this is, in a way, what we're talking about in sports, the key of the coach is not just strategy, is to how to create unconscious positive behaviors that it's not even about, it's like what you said about 10 minutes ago. It's about knowing that if I'm in that position, I can come back and I can win because I've done it once, I've done it twice, I've done it 3 times, I've done it 4 times. Guess
There's
what?
memory.
You better be a very good team to stop me because I believe I'm going to do it. So, and that's not luck. That's not created by luck. People can say, oh, you're lucky, you're lucky. No, it's not luck. Not when it's done so often. You can fluke something. That happens, right? That's normal.
Yeah.
But when it happens so often, that's called strategy. That's mindset. And that's probably something we'll talk about in future about the change room and how to get people into that mindset and what they do, the types of mental exercises that they can do.
100%. I was just going to add a point on the word when you mentioned luck. A lot of people call luck, and I find that after going through the motions of learning all or most of the stuff like in neuroscience, and I actually find when people say, "Oh, you're just lucky," it's just because they don't have any other meaning or any other way to figure out how you actually did that. So they just call it luck. Like luck would be the very quick things to say. Are you just lucky, right? But what would you call Michael Jordan? Who's done that? Would you call him lucky?
No, but you'd say he's a freak, right? But he's a freak because he knows and he's practiced it.
Well, how many games? Well, how many games did Carlton win over the past 2-3 weeks in a row?
4. They haven't lost a game.
Is that luck?
Well, people would say you're lucky, but no, I don't think so. And we played pretty crap. I want to show you this image, and I think really this is what I really want to put into the change room. But this is image, right? It's just brain gym stuff, guys. Seriously, it's like just like you exercise your body, you need to exercise your mind. See? That's it. And we think that we don't need to. We need to, right? And this is the whole thing. This show is that what we're doing is not about. It's not a Carlton show. Although I'm a crazy Carlton supporter, but it's more about. We want to give you the intricacies of what it takes mentally to be an elite performer, whether it's an athlete or whatever it is, and what goes in, because it all looks good on the outside, but no one really realizes what's going, because everything looks good in hindsight, right? But that's pretty much it. So enough of that. Do you want to do a rapid fire? Just put you on the spot. No,
we could.
Okay, you're not feeling it. No, you're not feeling it.
I'm all good. I'm just losing my lighting right now. Sorry, I'm just gonna be putting on my lighting. But go ahead if you got a quick. You want to go for it?
Well, I don't know. I was thinking about if you wanted to do that or not, but we don't have to.
Okay, we'll leave it for next time then. Cool, man. So we're just wrapping up right now.
Yeah, let's wrap up anyway. I think we're almost like half an hour anyway. Today was supposed to be a little quick episode about belief and a never say die attitude, So you're traveling this week?
Traveling this week. I'm out for a week. In fact, I'm probably going to be there for the following Thursday. So that means I'm probably going to have to record the show from Beirut when I'm there,
Is Beirut safe at the moment?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I live in the villages, so I just hope the internet is going to be good enough. Bear with us.
No, I know. Hey, Sam, one thing I forgot to mention before? We were talking about the ups and downs. Just I want to wrap up on this. Yep. Those who don't know, I've been a DJ for like over 25, 30 years. And
you have?
In my sets, the sets that have gone, the memorable ones, like the ones, and remember, I've been DJing for 25, 30 years. I was doing it almost week in, week out, right? And you remember when I was in Dubai, I was like doing 4 nights a week.
Yeah.
The memorable sets were the ones that either we start off slow, we build it up, and then something would happen in the night. So a speaker could go out, or something goes. For me, right? Or something's happened, and yet and I've played a song, and then I've gone from a dance track into a Beatles song, right? Just out of nowhere. Like I've done a New Year's where I've gone into a Beatles song at 12 o'clock, and people have gone absolutely ballistic because it's absolute curveball, right? Yeah. But the point is, just like the movie where you're going up, down, building them up, taking them there, building them, slowing them down, and then re-lifting.
Works in the same way. Absolutely. Works in the same way. Everything has a pace, lead. And we can talk about pacing and leading, how do you say a good story? Yeah.
In your world? Like, does it happen in your world? Like you make, because those who don't know, your background is also you do video production and cinema stuff and a whole bunch of different things.
Ex-life. Yeah. My previous life was a producer. And so, the same thing comes from storytelling, movie making is how do you, something has to happen, right? Obviously, we've all seen movies, right? There has to be a buildup of some sort of challenge until it reaches the top, and there's a big problem to solve, right? Well, that's how the human brain is wired. We look forward to pacing ourselves up until that point where someone has to make a decision, right? Like you're fed up with something that's going on in your life until you make a decision, right? You want to change something in your health because you should be doing it, but now you're sick and tired of it. And then you make a decision, right? And so it all kind of plays into this whole trajectory of pacing ourselves until we have to be forced to lead. Yeah.
So could I just say, and as we wrap up, in a way, that's part and parcel of what we do in hypnosis. So we pace, in a way, because we understand psychology, and then we lead a bit towards the direction for change.
Exactly.
Is that correct?
100%.
That was a good wrap up, huh? Very good.
Yeah, it's a very good wrap up. That's a very good wrap up. Right now, we'll finish our final pacing, and then we'll lead it out.
We'll lead towards the end. And hey, thanks again for all you guys that have watched us on the Change Room. We're on the Jumper Punch channel every Thursdays, 5 o'clock Melbourne time. Well, it's going to be 5 now. It's going to be now your 9 o'clock because we're doing daylight saving. So just for your information. The other channels, just shout out because they give us a shout out also. On Sundays, there's Blue Sunday with Vince, Joe, and David Rhys-Jones, the ex-Carlton legend. Tuesday night is the big show, which is the Jumper Punch with the boys, Rocco, Mars, and Paolo, and special guests. Big hit show. It's such a good show. Wednesdays, I don't know what's on Wednesdays. That's good. No, I do know. It's Forever Rivals, where they've got all the big Melbourne clubs, and they do a whole bunch of banter. It's pretty cool. Thursdays is us, and then Fridays double, and then usually on the weekend.
Let's wrap up.
Yeah. So
just wrapping up.
I
just wanted to say sorry. Apologies for my background. We just shot this. I normally have a better setup than this, but my lighting's not that great. So just want to pre-frame that in before we send off. And thanks for everyone for tuning in. It was such a pleasure to have everyone joining us and enjoying the show. Join us on this journey. It's going to be amazing. We're really enjoying this chat, aren't we, Rich?
Absolutely. It's just good. It's just look. It's a different type of show. So it's not maybe not for everyone, but if you want, have two guys that are talking about psychology and related to sports and life, you can get something out of that. That's all we care about. And, we're happy that, you can get some value out of this. Please like, share, send it to your friends. It helps us with the show. We want to grow the show bigger and bigger. It's not just a Carlton show, so I just want to put it out there. I mean, there's a Carlton angle.
Please help and share. Yeah.
What's that?
Please help and share. No, I'm just saying, please help, share it and like it. It just kind of helps our algorithm as well.
100%. Hey, listen, I've got a quote here. Do you want to put that quote, the first quote?
No, let's leave it for the next episode. Let's leave it for the next one. How about that?
Excellent. Do you want to do your voiceover here or?
No, we're good. No, I'm good.
No, we're good.
I'm good.
All right, good. All right, guys.
Nice chatting with you, bro.
All right, brother. As always, thanks all. Like, share, subscribe to the Jumper Punch. See you next Thursday, same time, same bat channel. Adios, amigos.